I was born in Cape Town. Full bred. No, I lie. Born in Cape Town, bred in Indonesia. You can consider me as a problem child, you know, because I was in fights day in, day out. I absolutely loved it.
You enjoyed it so far?
No. Whenever there was a potential fight, I would have this smile like, it's happening. It's happening. I was the pure joy, you know. And I don't remember if I ever lost a fight before. One day, I was living in Hanover Park at the time, and I was in a fight, and a guy stabbed me. We were just in the thing, you know, in the heap of it, and he grabbed something, and everything was fast, and I'm trying to, you know, break his arm because I see the knife, and the knife falls. He starts screaming of pain, and he runs. Anyway, I'm on my way to mosque, and I'm feeling a little bit, you know, and I'm like, whoa. And I check myself, and I see, because I had a black sweater on, it was a bit wet, and when I looked, I had a white vest under, and it was just blood. I was like, oh shit, I got stabbed. And you know, Cape Townians, Cape Flats, everyone's outside. They wanna, some people with a cup of tea, like, you know what's happening, you know? And I remember my dad was so furious. He was like, I want him to do it again. I want him to fight without knives. Because my dad wanted me to beat the shit out of this kid. And I'm looking at him like, I'm gonna kill you. You stabbed me, I'm good. You know what I mean? But soon after that, I started carrying knives. I had a knife on me. And then one day my dad found the knife, and I will never forget the disappointment in his eyes when he found out I had a knife. Like, where are you gonna go from here? And I think it was probably like a few weeks after that when I had the opportunity to go and study in Indonesia, like I said. And I was contemplating like life
14.
choices. I was 14 at the time. And that's when I decided that, okay, I'm gonna take this opportunity. I heard this opportunity from my cousin. He was going, and then I decided, okay, I'm gonna join.
Yo man, thank you for coming through, by the way, you know.
Only a pleasure, bro.
I try to get to interview people, but as you can imagine, people don't want to be on camera and stuff. People are shy here for whatever reason. Many people are shy to come on camera. But one thing for sure that I noticed when I first met you and, you know, had contacts with you is that you're far from that.
Yeah. Got my little bit of experience, yeah.
Yeah. What makes you so outgoing, actually?
I think the whole turning point for me was at the age of 14. I left to Indonesia, me and 15 other South Africans. So we were a group of 16 from the Cape Flats, and we had an opportunity to study abroad, you know, and I think that was the turning point for me. It was an international boarding school, and one of the things that they also focus on is building your character, confidence. We were suit and tie, even though it was 40 degrees on a daily.
Shit.
You know, we had every Thursday evening. We had what they call it was speech night. You know, how do you address people? Having speeches. It was either in English. Following week it was in Indonesian. Then one week it would be in Arabic. And it, you know, you will just build on your confidence. And next thing you know, we had this little group that we would perform, us South Africans, in a school of about 12,000 students. And we would perform sometimes once, twice a month to once a week in front of these 12,000 crowd. You know, and next thing you know, being in front of a crowd doesn't bother you anymore. But yeah, that's a story of its own, you know.
What got you like to have like the confidence that you have on yourself?
I think that's one of the things that contributed. Of course, after the 6 years in the boarding school, we were 3 of us that went to university. I got a lot of experience being in front of the camera, advertisements, a little bit of popping up here and there on TV, songwriting, performing in front of crowds. Automatically, with the experience that I had before that just helped and continued, you know. So there's always been a little bit of experience, you know, where confidence is required, being in front of a crowd, you know.
Very true. Very true, especially if you do what we do here. But anyway, bro, let's go backwards. Your name is Ish.
Yeah.
What is your full name?
Full name is Ismail Brennan.
Ishmael.
Yeah.
Oh, Brennan, right?
Brennan, yeah.
Oh,
interesting fact is when I knew that, you know, it's done and dusted, I'm going to be starting at the school, is when Jody messaged in the group, these are the new teachers, and I saw my nickname was given Ish. I was like,
really?
alright.
I didn't know. I thought you were always Ish. I thought they always call you, like in South Africa. I mean, you're South African, by the way, but we're gonna talk about that. But
yeah,
at home you didn't go by Ish. You went by Ishmael.
Well, there was a very small few at the workplace that called me Ish. I've never given the name. Hey, you can call me Ish.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I see.
But I thought that it was official when I saw that announcement. We got two new teachers, Lindre and Ish. I was like, yep. I mean, going forward, that's me.
That's Johnny for sure.
You know, that's me.
I know. Oh, shucks. I didn't know that actually. This is the first time knowing that. So can you tell me, firstly, like this is a typical question actually for some reason. That's why I don't like to start with it. Like, can you tell me about your background?
Yeah, sure. There's
like where were you born?
I was born in Cape Town. Full bred. No, I lie. Born in Cape Town, bred in Indonesia. But let me take it back, right? Born in Cape Town, I was in Belgravia High. I was probably you can consider me as a problem child, you know, because I was in fights day in, day out. I absolutely loved it. There was one day a situation I was on.
You enjoyed it so far.
No. Whenever there was a potential fight, I would have this smile like, it's happening, it's happening. I'm gonna kick you. I'm gonna, you know. And there was an opportunity to, whenever there's an opportunity that I might be in a fight, I was the pure joy, you know. And I don't remember if I ever lost a fight before. Like, I absolutely loved it. And one day I was living in Hanover Park at the time. So when I left to Indonesia, at the time I was living in Hanover Park, right? And I was in a fight and a guy stabbed me.
Oh shit.
Right on the chest. But I mean, I didn't even know. We were just in the thing, you know, in the hip of it, and he grabbed something and everything was fast. And I'm trying to, you know, break his arm because I see the knife, and the knife falls. He starts screaming of pain and he runs. Anyway, I'm on my way to mosque and I'm feeling a little bit, you know, and I'm like, oh. And I check myself and I see, because I had a black sweater on. It was a bit wet, and when I looked, I had a white vest under, and it was just blood. I was like, oh shit, I got stabbed. And you know, neighbors started seeing, my dad saw, and he was going crazy, and we were in the car trying to find these people. We found out where he lived. We got to the house and they said, nah, he's over at your house, you know, they want to fix it out. And my dad raced back with the car, and you know, Cape Townians, capeflats, everyone's outside. They wanna, some people with a cup of tea, like, you know, what's happening, you know? And I remember my dad was so furious. He was like, I want him to do it again. I want him to fight without knives. Because my dad wanted me to beat the shit out of this kid. And I'm looking at him like, I'm gonna kill you. You stabbed me, you know what I mean? But soon after that, I started carrying knives. I had a knife on me. You know, and
so when he stabbed you, it wasn't like deep.
It wasn't that deep. Okay. It wasn't that deep. So the hole was just glued.
Oh, I see. Because
it didn't open up. It was deep, so they glued it closed.
I see.
And I started carrying a knife. you know. And then one day my dad found the knife, and I will never forget the disappointment in his eyes when he found out I had a knife. Like, where are you gonna go from here? You know. And I think it was probably like a few weeks after that when I had the opportunity to go and study in Indonesia, like I said. And I was contemplating like
You were
life
14.
choices. I was 14 at the time. And I started contemplating my life choices. What am I going to do? You know, I kind of seen which direction I'm going in. Or am I going to try for something else and, you know, do something that I might not be happy with, but I know it's going to be for the betterment of my life. And that's when I decided that, okay, I'm going to take this opportunity. I heard this opportunity from my cousin. He was going, and then I decided, okay, I'm going to join. And because of me, my best friend at the time, because of him, his cousin, so...
Yeah, connection.
Yeah. So all of us, that 16 that left to Indonesia, we all knew each other. You know, it wasn't like, hey...
So,
you know?
wait, so what was going on for you guys to go to Indonesia? Like, was it a scholarship? What was the arrangements around that?
Yeah, so it was a in a nutshell, it was a scholarship program thing. A beautiful school in the middle of nowhere in Indonesia. And from the 16, you know, from the 16 that started out, and this is a story that I'm very proud of. From the 16, 4 graduated 6 years later.
Yo.
Because it was a one-pipe system. So you start from your grade 9. Grade 7. Yes, grade 7. You start from grade 7 because it was junior high. And then you all the way through to senior high. And then 6 years later, because I should have been grade 9. When I was grade 9 when I left Indonesia. But anyway, long story short, started over again. And from the 16, only 4 graduated. From the 4 that graduated, 3 went over to university. That was in 2009. From the 3 that went over to university, only 1 completed with a degree. So from the 16 that left South Africa in 2003, only 1 has a degree.
And that's you.
And that's me. Not because...
What happened to the other guys?
Some of them decided, you know what, I want to go home. This isn't for me. You name it, all different types of reasons. You know, one guy decided, I'm going to get married. I think he's got 7 kids today. 7, bro.
Yes.
2 of them passed away, unfortunately.
They passed away in South Africa, right?
In South Africa, yeah, in South Africa. And I kept on going, bro. I kept on going. I knew that I left for a reason. I knew I wanted to do something with my life, to be there for my family. You know, I'm the eldest in my family. And so many times I wanted to give up. I didn't. Even when I was in university, it's typical. It's a typical situation when you're in university, your family sends you money and you live off that. I sent money home to my family. I was selling songs, I was doing advertisements, I was doing everything. I was teaching, I was tutoring English, and I used to send money home. And the day I graduated, I bought my own ticket and I came home to South Africa in 2014. Yeah.
So you finished high school and finished university in Indonesia?
Indonesia, yeah.
Oh, shucks. Yo, I didn't know that actually.
Yeah.
But I always heard you talking about Indonesia here and there.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your relationship like in terms of with your brother-in-law?
No. We are close.
Like, what's your relationship? Isn't like, where do you guys know each other from? Do you know each other from anything in Indonesia or in South Africa?
No. So I was still busy doing my degree, but it's amazing how everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Right. So the family messaged me and said, "Listen, we would like you to come home in 2012.
Yeah.
Your sister is going to be getting married." And I was like, oh, that's amazing news. And they showed me pictures of this dude. And at that time, so it was a little bit different of a character, you know. Very beautiful beard, and you know his dress code was different back then as well. And but that's the Shohei that I got to know. And I came home in 2012, but I came home because of his wedding, right? And because I came home.
So you once actually, I hear you saying they told you have to come home in 2012. So when you were not visiting South Africa, like before then.
Once every 2 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yo, so from 14 years old, you left SA and you were not with your parents anymore.
Yeah, I was.
Basically, you were doing your own thing.
Yeah,
and
completely
going
alone.
back home once every 2 years.
Yeah. Well, when I was at the boarding school, it was different because you were living on a boarding school. The teachers at the boarding school were like parents to you, you know. But on university, when I was doing my degree, it was completely different. You live completely by yourself. Everything was just, which ironically I think it kind of like prepared me for what I'm doing here, completely on my own, while the family's at home. But anyway, going back, so yeah, I came home in 2012 purely for their wedding.
Yeah.
And in 2012, I met my wife. So if I didn't come back for his
you
wedding,
met your wife in 2012 when you came home.
Yeah. So crazy story. I met her. Coincidentally, it was on the 14th of February. That was on a Tuesday, at around 15 minutes after 5 p.m.
Okay.
I met her, and I'm just.
If you remember the time.
Yeah, no, we're just trying to like get to know her, but something felt different, bro. Something felt different. So her grandmother and my grandmother were neighbors in Hanover Park.
Okay.
So she came to Hanover Park, and I took a walk over.
Yeah.
And I met her at her granny's, right? And I was like, something feels different on this one, you know. And we spoke for about an hour, and I couldn't stop thinking of her. So the Sunday, I go to her house and I'm knocking on the door, and she opens up. Oh my God, you're here! Like, yeah, I'm here to meet your family.
Oh.
And
wait, why were you meeting her family?
Because I went to go and propose.
What?
I proposed.
How old were you?
I was 20. I think I was 22 at the time.
Hey, you and
22 or 23. I proposed, bro.
Hey, you and Shuhei, wow.
And then what happened was I went back to Indonesia. And then finished my degree. 2 years later, I came back. She was still waiting. I married her, bro.
That's crazy, bro.
I'm married 9 years now, going for 10.
Yo, 9 years together.
Yeah, going for 10, yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I feel like I feel like for whatever reason, like at that age, because Shuhei told me that he got married at age 21 or
yeah,
and his wife was 20 or something.
Yeah.
And you proposed at 22.
Yeah.
Like this, the reason I find that very crazy because I'm wondering, like, so what are your parents saying when you guys propose so early?
Well, it's more of a religious requirement or a religious thing. So, in our religion, Islam, you don't date, you know, because you don't create an opportunity to do things that you're supposed to do in marriage, right? So, in terms of when we say you don't date, doesn't mean you cannot get to know someone. It means you don't go on a date, you hold hands, we don't kiss, we don't make out, we're not alone in a room, you know, anything can happen, you know, so that's not allowed in our religion. But I can go, I can introduce myself, if I can let the family know what my intentions are, I can pop in and visit, of course, having people present, we're not alone, you know.
What?
Yeah, that's how I get to know, but I knew this is the one, you know.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's actually, now that you're saying that, now I'm just thinking of other things from my field of psychology. Actually, this makes me think. But I've never bothered to search this before, because typically in spaces, for an example, here in China, they have such a high rate of divorce. And one of the reasons they have such a high rate of divorce, at least from what I've like observed and gathered, is because they prioritize getting married, like just like how you are like pointing it out right now. So then there's also like, age things, like, stereotypes as to if a woman is over 25 is regarded as like basically leftover. That's the term they use in China, is leftover women when they're over 25. Yeah. So if, as you can imagine, if people have to get married, then there's sort of like that pressure that I need to get married. So then the results of divorce, there's so much divorce skyrocketing in China, is not a surprise to me. Like that they would face that because of what they've made getting married to be, because it's almost like there's a sense that you have to get married at this time. And because of those things, and also what becomes of you if you are not married, how you are characterized in a way within them. These are things that usually you wouldn't necessarily see as a foreigner unless you are close to Chinese people and friends. And I was close to them so much in my the city that I used to live in. It was crazy, actually, very, very crazy. A friend of mine was 28 and he had seen over 101 women through his mom. His mom was arranging dates for him. That's because he couldn't turn 30 without getting married.
That's a high number, though.
So now his family was so involved in him having to get married. The reason I'm saying this now, I want to go back to, weren't you guys worried about that when you have to get married? Or maybe rather, how are the divorce rates then in a Muslim society or community with that? Because I would expect that, actually, if that's things that you're mentioning, that obviously you can't just date, you have to be official, stuff.
So to answer the first question, it wasn't that hard, to be honest, because what happened is I'm getting to know her, and she's getting to know me, and there's no marriage without the two of us agreeing to it.
Yeah, of course.
So while I've already approached and I let them know what my intentions are, and but the moment I do that, it means no other man can approach now. You know what I mean? It's literally forbidden. It's literally forbidden in our religion.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. So what does it mean though about you? Like, does this mean are we saying then you should be trusted that you're not going to go and approach another woman?
The crazy thing is, right, because you're a man, you are allowed to approach another woman. But what does that say about you? Again, I'm gonna clearly say this. It is allowed for me to approach a woman, and at the same time, I can approach another woman and let them know what my intentions are. But what does that say about me? You know what I mean? So men don't do that in general, right? Even though it is allowed, right? I'm just making clear that it is allowed. I can one day propose to you, and while I'm proposed to you, I can also propose to somebody else.
Okay, so you guys are allowed to get married to more than one woman?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I'm specifically stipulating it. But what does that say about me in general? That's why men don't do that, So I went and I approached my wife's family, let them know these are my intentions, and by doing that, no guy could now approach and say, hey, she's off limits. You know what I mean? I'm engaged, she's engaged.
Is she allowed to say no when you come at the time?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, this means then other guys can approach.
I don't know what was going through her mind, but she was probably like, damn, this guy's confident. Because I literally just met her once. And then when I told the family what's my intention, they were like,
Okay,
You know?
okay. Another interesting fact, actually, I forgot to ask this to Shuhei. Now that you are here, I'm going to ask you. So, I asked Shuhei, we spoke, I'm not going to talk about it much because I already kind of knew, because I studied like around the hijabi and what's not. So, I'm not going to go much to that. But I want to ask this idea that since like people wear, women specifically, especially rather, wear hijabis in like the Muslim like culture, I would say, or tradition, if you may, then I always wonder, so if that's the case, I think you know what I'm gonna ask, how do you guys get to choose then your person if you don't get to see them? Imagine if women held up the rules around hijab and stuff, how do you get to choose your partner?
that's a good question.
I remember I was told by, I had another friend who was Muslim in varsity, and his name was Muhammad actually, and he was saying to us, basically a person is supposed to see their wife, they unveil themselves to them only when they get married. That's what it's supposed to be like. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say, for example, you have a situation where someone is, so there's two different types of covering, right? You have the hijab, where the woman is, her hair is covered,
but not
her face is revealed, her face is revealed, so I can see you and you can see me. And then there's another level which is called niqab, right? Now niqab is more like a personal decision, not a religious requirement.
Oh, okay.
Right? Though there are different schools that have different opinion, but the majority.
Oh, I was about to say that actually. Yeah,
but the majority of opinion is when a woman uses the niqab, which what they call it, only the eyes are revealed. That's personal. That's not a religious requirement.
Oh, okay.
9 out of 10 of the times, they do it because they want to have their beauty only for the husband.
Oh, okay.
Right? That is a personal decision.
Okay.
Right? So, if I had to approach my wife or my future wife at the time, if I had to approach her and let her know that I'm interested, she will then, because she wants to show me, this is me, I am then allowed to, but of course having somebody present, then she would reveal herself and I'll be like, oh my God, you are indeed the one.
Wait, that's another thing that you keep saying. You say having someone around.
Yeah. Like
there should be someone around everywhere you guys are. Like you can't, like, say, be at the mall by yourselves or something.
So when what we refer to that is, we have this term in our religion. If you're only two, the third person will be the devil.
Okay.
Meaning you'll have this instigating towards, we alone, there's nobody watching.
Of course.
Let me hold your hand. Let me see your hair. Let me do something that I'm not supposed to do. It's natural. But the moment someone's present, whether they're sitting reading newspaper, watching TV, they're not interested in what we're doing. You're not going to do something knowing that someone's there. You know what I mean? So when I went to go and get to know my wife, her mom was always there.
Goodness.
You know what I mean?
Hey, yo, bro. And he's Muslim. Hey, bro, Muslim, you guys. I'm glad that you guys are around actually to answer these questions for me.
Yeah.
Damn, you guys move different, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you move so differently. Like, that's like, I'm imagining with like my first girlfriend. Like, that's crazy. That's so weird. Her mom around, what?
So the interesting part is when we got married, right? Again, in our religion, it's a verbal contract between you, God, and everyone as witnesses. When I got married, that's when I started taking my wife on dates. We're sitting in restaurants, we're doing things in public or private. Those butterflies were crazy, but it was during marriage. You don't do this before marriage. And then you get married and like, where's the hype now? Now we did this. You know what I mean? I got married 9 months later, my first baby was born. Exactly 9 months. So I think that you can consider a honeymoon baby. But yeah, in that 9 months, you know, I really enjoyed everything.
Okay. Just moving a little bit away from the because right now it's more personal, right? But I want to understand why is it like because I feel like in all the religions I can think of, there is no religion that has people so dedicated, like into actually living it, like how Muslim people would. None. There's no religion that has the followers or people who believe in it actually dedicated to living it, like how Muslim people would. None, bro. Trust me. I am not actually as much of a religious person, but in my experience, I've had friends from everywhere. I grew up in a Christian family, you know, so I know that side. But I can tell you with confidence, none, bro. Not like Muslim.
Yeah.
No. What causes that, in your own opinion?
It's all about faith.
But well, the Christians will say that too, but they still don't, bro. Like everyone says it. Everyone has the same kind of belief, and they say the same things about how they feel about their religion, but they don't live it like how Muslim people do. So that's weird to me. Like, how is it that other people on the other side seem to believe it so much that they will go to even whatever extremes that are required, as long as they believe it's within the line?
Yeah.
Yeah, how come? But then on the other side is a flip, whereby people can go to church tomorrow, they're drunk, then it's a flip. Yeah.
So I'm gonna try and answer in the best way that I can.
Okay.
You know, not representing Islam or anything, but in the best way that I can. Yeah. There's a verse in the Holy Quran, it's called Surah Saf, where it says, I think this is like the third or fourth verse, where it says specifically that God dislikes those that say something but don't do it, which is basically practice what you preach. Like literally, God does not like that. So we also believe that our purpose on this planet, on Earth, is one, to fulfill our obligation to our Creator. We are here to, we call it ibadah, where you have to, you know, submit to our Creator, and it's not just pray, it's literally submit. You know what I mean? We pray 5 times a day. That's fundamental. We probably pray like 100 times a day, because we do a prayer before the fundamental prayers, and then after, when you walk, when you open the door, everything starts with a prayer. So you're in constant remembrance of our Creator. And again, everything we believe is every action is a virtuous action. Even when you get married, whatever you do, you know, you are in constant remembrance. And we also believe that this is the final revelation of all previous revelations. You know, back to Adam, we believe in Adam. Abraham, we believe in Abraham. All the way to Jesus.
I always found those parallels so interesting. Actually,
we believe in Jesus. We believe in his teachings. We believe that he was a prophet. He also stated in the Injil, the original Bible, that there will be a final prophet after him. And so many scholars, Christian scholars, has confirmed that this was and is part of the Bible, and that, you know, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he's the final messenger. So even back home, you can be living in the ghetto, like Hanover Park, where I'm from, and it's raining bullets outside, bro. It's raining bullets. And the call of prayer goes off. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? You won't see something like my wife saying, "Oh my God, don't go outside." You know what I mean? She will kiss me, be safe. But you know, that's my obligation. The call of prayer is there. We wake up like in summer at 4 a.m. You know, it's time to go and pray. So all of that devotion, you know, it's spiritual. You know, it's a connection between you and your Creator. We definitely believe that, you know, every soul will taste death. So we are here momentarily.
True.
Guaranteed 100%. We are here momentarily. We do what we can. We try to be the best that we can. That's why there's no such thing as, you know, drinking, you know, doing things, you know, anything like that. Nah. It's just you're here for a purpose. Do the best that you can.
Yeah. Can you tell me about growing up in Cape Flats?
Yeah.
Can you tell me, you know, from the outsider, because as much as I'm South African, I'm an outsider when it comes to Cape Flats. I only know about it, like, obviously from the news.
Yeah.
Like, it's so bad, like, that's bad, you know. I just know that from the news, and also some books, actually, some history of Cape Flats is in drama. I used to learn about it a lot in performance studies, which is weird, actually. When this is like because this I forgot now. I'm forgetting who wrote this book. It was not even an old book. It was quite new, actually, but it's about the life in Cape Flats and what's not. So that's all I know. But all I know, basically, is that Cape Flats, like, that's not the place you wanna be. Yeah, can you tell me anything about Cape Flats? Your experience there?
I think
and growing up there.
Yeah, I remember vividly. You know, growing up in the Cape Flats, it's like one of the most colorful places. You know, different kinds of people, different vibes. You know, the weekends are always busy. Everyone, you only see it from a different view once you're outside of the Cape Flats. Neighbors are always involved in a good way. You know, you have family activities, weekends, people bring out the speakers, and you got your fives, footballs happening. It was just, it was great.
Okay.
You know, growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
And then slowly the violence increased. You know, I started fighting more the more I reached 13 years old, 14 years old. I'm talking about fighting every single day.
Why? What was causing that? What was the switch? What was the change? Especially because Cape Flats right now is just known for gang violence. What happened? Like, what happened that's caused that?
I think one of the biggest factors, in my opinion, was it was becoming too claustrophobic, too small. You know, a strange thing is, for example, if you look at Shanghai, Beijing, Shenzhen, all these places, 1980 to 2024, they are completely and totally different.
Yeah, of course.
You know, futuristic cities, skyscrapers, whatever. Look at the Cape Flats, 1980. They're exactly the same.
The same. Yeah, I was supposed to say it's the same. Nothing changed. Just more people. They
got aluminium windows. They got a paint job. Maybe new roof, but they're exactly the same. So they probably multiplied by 10, but exactly the same. Like, there's no improvement. Like, what is the government doing? You know, there's no expansion happening in the Cape Flats. It's just there. Hundreds of people living on top of each other. You know, and I think that is one of the biggest reasons for the violence. You know, I used to see people, and definitely there's something bigger involved in terms of drugs and gun violence. I used to see, you know, big shots in terms of gangsters, you know, hitmen, shoot a guy in the face because the guy didn't give him a cigarette. This is early hours of the morning, on everyone's going to school and work. The guy's being shot in the face.
Just for a cigarette.
You know, the guy goes to jail, and a month later he's out.
He's out.
Like, how is that even possible?
Yeah, that's South Africa though.
You know, he's out. In a month's time, he's out. And he continues to do what he do. You know what I mean? And I used to question, like, how the flip did that happen? You know? Until the day that he met his demise. And I mean, I saw that with my own eyes. I think they cleared like 14 bullets standing on top of him. And I remember, you know, jumping out, because once you hear you want to get a piece of that action. And I was standing on the stairs, and I think I saw the last 2 or 3 bullets being emptied on him. And that's your every single day. People adapt to that type of living, which is crazy.
But you know what's always confused me about violence in a place like Cape Flats, right? It's because Cape Flats is a small area in a way, right? Because it's not like a big, like maybe township whereby other people live very far there. It's like people know each other.
Yeah.
And usually when someone gets robbed or something, people know who in that area does that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's weird because I'm saying this because it almost reminds me of the same thing that happens in the hood, just generally in South Africa. This is like in KZN and stuff, you know. It's different from the rural areas of KZN.
Yeah.
In the rural areas, the crime rise so less compared to places like capeflats or the hood.
Yeah.
You know, because in the rural areas, people are more like a community. They know each other.
Yeah.
It's like you can get robbed. Everyone knows that it just doesn't work for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But then also now I'm thinking about the geographics of the place. More in the hoods, like in Newcastle, like there's more people, like, you know, they're just clustered together. Yeah. There isn't much space, but in the rural areas, people have more land. There's so much space, but it's more of a community there compared to the hood. But it's still confusing though, because people know each other in Cape Flat. So how does it work?
Crazy fact. Now that you mention that, let's say for example, right? When I used to take the bus coming home from work back, this is probably like 2018.
Yeah.
So let's say for example I'm taking the bus and the bus decides to take a different route, and I know that way everybody knows me. It might be much longer, but people know me. And if I take this route, people don't know me. And chances are I might get robbed. Something might happen. I might get approached. I don't know that side of another bar. So you will be safe in the side that you know people know you. You know what I mean? But doesn't matter who you are. If that's not your side, that's not your territory, you stay away.
That's crazy. Okay, let me just get to some questions now. After so long journey. Some of the questions I wanted to ask you, maybe one question I usually would ask is more of an existential question. What do you think is your purpose? Like in everything that you do in the world, in life, what would you say is your purpose?
So I think and I believe that my purpose is to, apart from my religious beliefs with regards to my purpose, I also believe that my purpose is to lay a path for my kids.
So I'm glad, because I was going there, I'm glad that you said lay path for your kids. What is the path? Like, what is it that they're supposed to do? So my parents are very humble people. My dad didn't finish matric. My mom didn't finish high school, and my brother and my sister, they, high school. They're high school matriculants. I'm the only one in the family that has a degree. But in a sense of what I'm saying, that is, I fought for that. There were so many days that I wanted to give up. It wasn't easy. A South African, a member of my family, just me, being completely alone in an entire country, and I'm just hustling, trying to make meet ends, and eventually, after such a long time, finally coming home with a degree, I believe that now I have to ensure that my kids also have a pathway to an education that they decide they want to go into, so that their kids can also, so that it can be a chain reaction. You know what I mean? So change like the path of the family.
Yeah. And I've been abroad before. We were in Indonesia, and then we came home, and things were working out fine. I was working for Amazon. I had my own side business that became a legitimate. Well, I say legitimate as if it wasn't illegitimate, but I mean it became a registered business, and we were doing okay until something happened earlier 2024 in Feb. But it's always been for them, And even though I had 2 jobs at home, I didn't know how I was gonna accomplish this. Now I see a path, right? So everything that I'm doing is opening a path for them. One day they can decide what they want to do, what they want to study. You know, as a parent, you just want the best. You know, and as a man, you know.
So then, with that being said, how would success in your life look like? If your life is coming to an end, your life was successful, how would that success look like?
First of all, having my children establish strong religious grounds, like they know what their purpose are. You know, I'm a Muslim. With all the shit happening in the world right now, I know I'm a Muslim. I'm not confused. I know what my purpose is, and again, establishing that path for them. That would be success for me.
So what if one of your kid was to deviate from Muslim? What would you say?
Of course,
they say they take on to something else.
Of course, there's first of all the religious aspect. You know, you're turning away from religion. You try your best, of course, to educate them, and then also continue to educate them. You know, try and show them that, you know, what you're doing. Like, how does it make sense? You know, in a sense, also try to prove them wrong, because we believe, you know, that this is the righteous path, and what you're doing is going against the righteous path. But as a parent, you will never disown them. You understand what I'm saying? As a parent, I will never disown. And I'm not just, you know, just saying it for.
I get you.
As a parent, I will never disown my child.
I get you. The reason actually I asked you that question because, as I told you, like I feel like there isn't that I haven't heard when it comes to like those things like religion, religious beliefs, and how people would argue for their sides and stuff like that. You know, everyone would argue for whatever they believe in. So I always find it interesting. Then, like in your case, for example, if someone is born in a particular, you know, religious belief, and maybe they say, "Yo, Dad, I'm Christian. I think I believe more in this religion than this one." Like, you know, like respectfully, maybe not even in a bad way. That just in a way of I'm here now. You know, not even as a kid, rather maybe as an adult who's getting married and whatnot, and saying, "Dad, yeah, I know this was that. That's what you taught us. I respect that. But I think this is my path."
Yeah.
Like I always wonder, like how that conversation would go, or how the parent would feel.
Yeah.
What do you think in general? I'm sorry, but I'm kind of projecting some of the questions that I always have myself. You know, living by yourself. You know, this is something that I go through, right? To be fair, I feel like I don't know what you're gonna say. I don't think we actually know what we're supposed to do. Like, I feel like the more educated we get to be, like especially about the globe and the earth and whatnot, I feel like the harder it is to figure out what's like, why are we here and what is this thing that we are in. You know, these are just existential questions that I usually have because I'm so much into science. Like I'm a science freak. I like to learn about the globe, about what's happening, what's everything, right? And the truth is, all the time when I follow that path, like I feel like the more knowledge I know, the deeper I see how complex and complicated this is. What would you say? What do you think we are here to do? Like now, as a people.
That's not a difficult question for a Muslim.
Okay.
Right, because again, I told you, as a Muslim, we believe that we're here for a purpose. We believe that this life is.
What is the purpose?
So your primary purpose is to submit to God. You do righteous acts. You attain a certain level of piety so that you can reach.
Just that.
Yeah. So that you can basically so that you can pass this life's test and get the year after, which is everlasting. In a nutshell, right? Because we believe in the afterlife.
Almost all the religion these days.
Right?
Yeah.
So
it's that's easy and not as complex.
Yeah. So, for example, if you look at the Quran, right? There's been many scholars, different religions, and they have claimed that they found mistakes in Quran. And of course, the scholars of Islam, they happily accept challenges, but no mistake has been found in the Quran, right?
Yeah.
So we believe that the Quran is the final revelation, right? Everything that came before them, we do not disown. We believe that it's like when you go to school, you're not gonna disown grade R and then disown primary school. That was wrong. It's all one linkage. It's all one chain, and until you pass university, and then boom, this is the final revelation. Now you know what I mean. So that's what that's what we believe. Talk about science. You know how many science facts are there in the Quran? Undisputable facts.
Okay.
Things that were impossible.
Does the Quran talk about cell phones and computers? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I know there are. I'm not sure. I stand correct. I'm not sure, but I know there are prophecies or revelations by the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, where he mentioned about because he had the gift of vision, and he explained to his companions that in the future there will be people that will be watching the world on a mat on the wall. It wasn't a box, it was a mat.
Oh, okay.
And if you look at today, those flat screens are as flat as a mat, bro.
Yeah.
It wasn't boxes, it was a mat. They were confused. They were told that there would be roads that pierce mountains, and they were like, how is this possible? There were buildings that will pierce to the sky, the clouds, and they were like, this is impossible.
Yeah.
But look at what happened today,
Yeah.
There's another scientific fact.
Sorry, man, my battery. Sorry to.
No worries.
Okay.
Yeah. So, for example, there's another prophecy where the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, says that if a fly ever land in your bowl of soup, for example, before you take it out, make sure you dip both wings into it and then throw it out. Of course, today we'll probably like hey and throw everything out. Right, but of course, maybe back then,
no, people didn't have food to.
You know what I mean? So instead of a fly, dip both wings because, and then the prophecy says, because on one wing will be the disease and the cure will be on the other wing. So basically, you are neutralizing it, right? Okay, because it was something that was instructed by the Prophet, we follow. But 1400 years later, a scientist found out that there's a disease on the one wing and the antidote or the cure is on the other. So it was impossible for a man to know that 1400 years ago. So there's so many different scientific so when we talk about science, yeah, absolutely we believe in science, but not to the point where science disown that there's a creator.
Okay, I don't know if you've noted, I'm not a religious person at all, actually.
Gotcha.
Because I think the spaces where religion got me is not the same way you seem to have gotten with religion. For me, religion didn't help me.
Yeah.
It didn't get me to where many people, my friends who are either Muslim, like you and Shuhaid, I consider you guys people that are very close to me now, and or people that I grew up with Christianity. It didn't help me at all, actually. Like religious belief, because I feel like maybe I think it's for maybe different people. I guess would you like to know why I'm saying that, for example?
Yeah, of course.
It's because when you talk about faith, for me, is as good as, it's like a faith. Okay, let's say for example you jump outside and you jump outside the window. We're on the 10th floor, right? When you jump and you hit the floor, faith is more like you survive, it's God's will, you die, it's God's timing. It's like, so those type of things, I don't like those type of things. I like to have an end, like something that is straightforward. This is a consequence of this, right? So I like to have things sort of like something that you are able to prove right away, and you know this is the consequence, this is equivalent to this, you know. So for me, religion doesn't do that for me. So I ended up having problems, especially this is the fact that you don't know about me. I lost my mom when I was 10.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But then when I lost my mom at the time. I feel like growing up was obviously on a Christianist family. My man, like, bro, I was that kid. Like, you know, Sunday schools, Saturday, go to church. On Sunday, go to church. Like, I was that kid. Like, you know those kids in, I don't know if you've seen in Christian church, you have the kid who goes, they carry in the Jesus cross and stuff. Yeah. I was that kid. There's nothing you could have told me about religion. Like, there's like no ways you could have convinced me otherwise about religion. I was just into dip, you know. And when my mom was sick, the only thing I ever wanted was my mom to get better, more than anything. So when my mom passed away, I didn't see if I am like for this God, and the only thing I want is just to get my mother to be alive and be like other kids and have my parents. If I can't have that, might as well, what's the point, you know? So for me, it was more like that. So many things started becoming pointless, you know, when it comes to religion. It's like, we are hungry here, bro. We are starving. We are going through hardships. We're in the hood, and we still go on Sundays to a God. You know, it doesn't match up. You know, when you look at, for example, if I would look at like Middle East countries and the amount of hardship they face from United States, especially for the religious belief, and then to say there is someone who cares about them with so much power, but let all the things that's happening to them. I mean, rest in peace to the kids in Palestine right now, and all the things that are being done to them. And they have this powerful being that supposedly cares about them. This to me doesn't make sense. It doesn't at all. So that type of thing to me just makes me just rubbish the whole thing. I don't even want to deal with that type of thing. So to me personally, that's what happened, because it's like, how come these people, like, I know these people, how they are, like, as a people, but right now they always suffer for whatever reason too. The more religious, what did Elon Musk said, the more uneducated and religious they are, the more babies they give, and the more, forgot what he was going to, but he was saying basically, like, when people are not educated and the more they are religious, the more they're just good for just procreation, but there's nothing else you can expect from them. And it was harsh, you know, it feels personal to someone like me who is from those type of places and know how people who have faith, you know, who believe like that, you know, how for some reason it doesn't pay off, like, on the basis of that. It's almost like, my man, there is the life that you need to fight for and live, right? That is outside of this, you know. So the impact of this to me in my life wasn't actually translating to the actual life I was living, and that's one big problem I had. And by the way, this is like later on, because I kept trying to find faith. I mean, I was talking to Shuhaid about Mudrasas in Newcastle, where I used to go all the time, and how nice it was. We were talking about the community. I just spoke to Shuhaid about these things. So I kept trying to find, because my mom passed away like 2004, but I kept trying to find faith, you know, and stuff. And then to 2014, this is the last time I ever tried anything.
2014?
Religious. Yeah, 2014.
Okay.
And after that, I was like, nah, that's just not happening for me. Because 2014, I lost my dad. I was like, never again. There's nothing that you're going to tell me that is, because the idea to me of a religion seeks to say, it's almost like there's a middle ground whereby, because I feel like if there was something as powerful, there should be like some sort of level ground that at least everyone should be able to eat.
Yeah.
There's, as much as we're not going to be equal, but everyone should be able to eat if there's such a powerful being who cares. So to me, it doesn't match up. So that's where my issue was. So that's where I was like, I dropped out of that, like, you know, like, I just forgot. I told myself, hey, man, I figured this thing out myself, or I don't. That was it. Yeah. Which
is actually amazing. I'm listening to you now, and it's actually amazing, because something like that happening to a Muslim, his belief becomes even stronger. You know what I mean? Because we know and we believe, as I mentioned earlier, that we're here for a purpose. We know that we are tested. We've been told from the very beginning that every soul shall taste death. That is a guarantee.
Of course.
So what's also required in our religion is to prepare for that. So for example, back home, We pay every month a very small amount. Let's say, for example, it's 55 rand. I don't know what my dad was the one that was in charge. And what we're paying for is for our hole. So when I die, I know the hole and the cloth that I'm going to be wrapped in. So I'm preparing
for your death.
For my death. You know what I mean? In terms of my children, I remind them about death. I remind them that like this is something that will happen. And you spoke about Palestine. None of that people say, I denounce God for having my entire...
No, they don't.
They don't. Because we know every prophet, almost every prophet, right? That is why the prophets went through all these struggles. I think there's going to be a podcast on religion.
I think so. It's weird that we're talking about. It's okay.
Like
we are here. I didn't plan this, but it's just happening. It's okay.
Like for example, like in our belief, right? Every prophet has gone through so much struggle so that he could be an example for those. Whereas the prophet was asked, hey, you can be the richest person if you want, and he said, no, I want to continue being one of the poorest of people. He was the poorest of people. Like he would wear the same clothes day in and day out. You know, one of his best attire was clothes that was previously stitched. You know what I mean? Not so that he could be an example for us. You know, if he was one of the richest, then we could also, you know what I mean? But as an example, again, we believe that this life is not eternal. Whatever we go through is hardships.
Yeah, but that's my problem. Is like why? Because why others are not. You know, look at Chinese, for example.
Good
Chinese
question.
don't believe God. And have you asked your kids?
You know what's
bro,
the, you know what's the
don't believe
interesting
in
fact?
God here, bro.
You know what's the
Everyone don't care about that thing.
You know what's the interesting fact?
Yeah.
If you can have a whole plane full of atheists, and the plane goes down, watch everybody go, oh God!
Oh God! Maybe that's just like I would say. It's a natural response.
It's a natural. Why is it natural?
Yeah.
Why is it natural? Why does the soul cry out for God naturally?
No, I just think it's just indoctrinated to human beings early. Given how I grew up, it's indoctrinated to us when we were very young, because how we grew up so much dictates what religion path we take. So much. No, but it's very rare for those people who change as they grow older. That's maybe they were Christian, now they are Muslim, or they were Muslim, now it's very rare. Usually your path of what you believe in is dictated by where you grew up, which already just annihilates the whole idea for me. You know, it's like why, for example, you're talking about house ships and others, the ones who are like, what about the ones who are doing good? Like, bro, like, to me, it's just, you know, when I come to China, and I was so shocked by the amounts. Try it, even if you're asking your kids. Chinese don't believe in shit, bro. Their kids don't believe in nothing, but they're killing it in life. Why is it that us on the other side, my man, a Sunday in South Africa and a Sunday in China, two different things. I was telling my kids that when it's Sunday in South Africa, I don't need to be reminded of the day. I feel it. It's in the air that it's Sunday. It's in people going to church everywhere. It's the songs that are playing around in cars. You take a taxi, the song that is playing tells you the vibe is Sunday. We all know that. Come to China, it's a Monday or a Sunday, it's the same thing. But so you see my thing then why? Why is it that we will have to suffer and we so much in believing in God and what's not, and these ones are working, they're putting in the work, they're doing shit, look at them, you know? So that's my issue.
So again, one of our beliefs is this life was never meant for you, right? It was never meant to be perfect. If it was perfect, what's the point of the year after? Imagine I have everything I ever want. I have everything. What am I going to ask God for? So those that goes through the biggest hardships on this life will have the highest ranks in the life hereafter.
What is the difference between Muslim and
Christian?
It sounds so like Christian.
So just imagine, just imagine, right? Hypothetically, you don't believe in God, I believe in the year after, and you arrive at the year after.
The difference is
two scenarios, right? Two scenarios. You don't believe in God, I believe in the year after. We both reach the year after. You're like, hey, I should have. You know what I mean? Or you were right. There's no God. I live a life of contentment. You live a life of contentment, and when we die,
It's over.
it's over.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Either way, it's okay. But I know if, and I mean, so far, no one could prove that Islam is the wrong religion. No one.
Yeah, but I don't think there is a religion that's, because I feel like everyone say, because the reason I know, because it's the same thing as my Christian friends would say.
No,
Like,
no, 100%. I've seen one of, I've seen, I think this guy's called the godfather of atheism or something like that.
Penuel.
He had
That's Penuel.
he had a debate with a South African.
That sounds like Penuel. I think I know who
he
you're
had a
talking about.
debate with a South African, the late Ahmad Didat.
I feel like
and-
it's Penuel, yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway,
I don't actually, for me, I do not, okay, because it's the clear thing. Faith, it doesn't deal with proof, to be honest. If to have faith, it means to believe in something that you don't fully know. It's like, that's what it means to have faith. Because to have faith, you don't have to have actual God coming to you and you see them, or no. To have faith is to say, no matter what, this is my belief. Is to die on what you believe in. So faith has nothing to do actually with, the only thing now that I'm thinking about it, the only thing I feel that I always agree with when it comes to faith, to be honest, being here on earth, everything that we achieve here is pointless because we're gonna leave it anyway.
Yeah.
And all the accolades don't matter when you go.
when you refer to faith, it is different in Islam because there has been factual proof. For example, when hear me out. So for example, when the Quran was revealed, it was revealed to a man that was illiterate.
Yeah.
He couldn't read, he couldn't write, and that was a known factor.
Yeah.
And the verses that was revealed, even the greatest poets at the time, because Arabic is a beautiful language, and is one of the most beautiful languages in terms of poetry. Even the greatest poets at the time couldn't fathom where this level of language originated from, you know. And then the factors and treating people equal and hardships and all of that. It is a religion of hardship, you know, because we believe in what's to come. But that also lays the path for everything that we go through. When I'm at my lowest, I pray. When I'm at my highest, I pray. When I'm feeling great, I pray. When I'm feeling low, I pray. And I've prayed in class where students walk by and they're like, you know, and they approach me, Mr. Brennan, I saw you touch the ground, and I'm open. Yeah. I was busy praying. Oh, are you Muslim? You know. So, but yeah, that's how it is.
That's jeez, man. yo. Damn. Yeah, you really. I see. You're on with faith. Like you have it.
And I mean, I'm not perfect, you know. We all make mistakes, you know. And
what's the biggest mistake have you done that you say, oh my God, I once did this?
The biggest mistake that I made. So, again, in our religion, it's very important to not talk about your mistakes, because if you repent,
oh really?
Yeah, if you repent, you repent. We don't talk about the mistakes that we make.
Okay.
So because there's two types of sinners, one that sin and repent, or one that talks about his sin. Then how are you repenting if you talk about it? You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah.
No, I don't know what you mean. Actually, I have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, I'm trying to find a way to ask you.
I'm also trying to find a way of a mistake that I can talk about.
Is there something that's for you? Like, I wanna look at it from an educational perspective. Something that you would say, this, you know, maybe is a mistake that you would. This could be anything professionally. I don't know, man. If there isn't, like, so you guys are saying, in other words, because the mistake could be used as a learning path for the next person, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, because for
But I
example,
cannot-
what if your kid was to do the same mistake that you did? Wouldn't you want them to know, hey, boys in there, I've done this, I know that.
Yeah, but I don't think I can think of one on the top of my head.
Okay, no, that's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, really, I'm trying to think of one like at the top of my head.
Yeah. Bro, yeah, let me close this with you. But before I close, I just want to know, how are you feeling? You know, if there's something for me that I would say maybe something that I should have, I don't know, maybe taken seriously earlier or corrected, or I don't know what's the right word, but it's family. And you know, when I talk to people like you, Shuhaid, and other people like gents that I know, and when they talk about having kids, their family and what's not, I find it to be a beautiful thing. Actually, I don't have a kid, didn't get married at 21 or 22. I'm not crazy, but anyway, bruh, how are you feeling that your kids are coming, and you know, how are you feeling where you are, your family?
Oh man,
Like, how are you feeling?
I think so. I'm actually trying to suppress everything right now until I know my family's got their visas in their hands.
No, they will though.
Which is gonna happen
No,
either.
Should. No, there's no
Yeah.
way they're not gonna.
No, but it's gonna happen either this Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah. No, they will. They will.
Right?
When you're here, they will.
The moment the wife tells me we got the visas, bro.
No, they will.
Bro,
Yeah, because they're
then-
coming through you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they will for sure.
So-
Therefore, they have to give them those visas.
This year, 2024, February, I was in a hijacking situation
Where?
in Cape Town,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
And we were at an event, and I was singing a song, and my kids were with me, and putting everything in the guitar. And as I get into the car, I see these three, just out of the blue, three guys were like literally on top of the car, and I got out, closed the door. I was like, "Yo, can I help?" They're like, "No, they're looking for directions." And as I was pointing, and they turned around, and I was like, "Nah, this is not happening." And they turned around, and two of them cocked their guns. And I saw them, and I locked, and I threw away the key. And gun was in my belly, and the guy was like, hey, you don't do that, huh? And the other guy was knocking on the window, telling the kids to open. And I don't know why, but I was just so calm. And I looked at the kids, and I was like, no, don't
open.
You know? But long story short, I remember how the kids were traumatized. You know, it was like 2 weeks later, and I was like putting money in the wallet, and they were like, hey, give me your money. You know, and I was like, wow, it's still that fresh. You know, the kids didn't want to sleep in their own rooms. They wanted to be with us. And I kept thinking, you know, what can I do as a father to give them a better life, you know? I didn't think that years later we would come back to a Nova Park. I have my kids in a Nova Park. That, you know, one minute you're working, because I was working from home. 1 minute you're working and and you run out with it, make sure your kids are. That's not the type of life that you want. Any parent want. You know what I mean? And I'm saying this openly because I want who's ever listening to this, wherever they are. Doesn't matter if you're from Hanover Park like I am, Mitchell's Plain, wherever. It's never too late. You can do something now, or you can sit on your ass, and at the age of 40, you'll be exactly where you are. Right? I'm 35, bro. I got 4 kids. Right? And I thought to myself, what can I do to make, you know, our situation better? And I was speaking to the wife, and I told her I want to try for China again, because I did try in the past, and then COVID happened and all of that. And I think the moment she looked at me and she said, go for it.
When was this? 2020?
What?
When COVID happened and you were trying, you were trying to come in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
2022, I did get a job offer, but relocation fee was like 100K in rand. And I'm like, where am I going to get 100K? You know? And the moment the wife gave me her support, I knew it. I knew I can do this, you know? And again, I knew what I was doing it for. I've always been a family man. My kids will be with me, and the wife will chill. I'm taking the kids to the movies, or whatever I do, it's with the family. We do it as a family. I would give up anything to be with the family. It's boys' night. Yep, me and the family, we got plans. You know what I mean? And when I told the wife, I think, I'm going to be away for like 5 months before I can bring you up. Of course, I could see the hesitation, but I had that support. And I've been here for 3.5 months now. I got like a month and 6 weeks to go. I got 6 weeks. And then we will start our journey as a family here in China. And if you can just fathom, as a father, having to accomplish something where your family, in 1 year, you have your family in Hanover Park, shooting anytime. Sun is going down, you're inside.
To here, man.
Come on, here, it's you know what I mean.
Like, that's as good as taking your kids from the hood to like Santin or whatever.
You know what I mean.
In SA.
And I see, Chinese families walking around
with their kids
8, 9 p.m., 10 p.m.
Big in China.
Okay, not now because it's crazy as hell. It's cold as hell.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the summer nights, 10 p.m. they're walking around with ice cream and.
No, it's nice.
I'm just looking at them and I'm like, I'm gonna make this happen for my kids, man. Give them international schooling.
Yeah, like
give them everything that a father wants to give their kids. This is all for them. And if you are listening to this and you're sitting at home in Cape Town and you just thought of it, go for it. What is there to lose? You can become that pillar for the family where you can support them financially. You can be much more than just another family member. If you are a father, you got a degree, go get your English teaching credentials, make that investment in yourself and in your children, and go do it. You got nothing to lose. You can either sit at home thinking, I should have, I could have, or you can go for it and you can do it and you can make it happen.
Yeah, it's getting tougher though recently. It's better if for example, you had Shuhaib here, it's better if you find a connection with the person to come here. Because it's recently it's getting tougher for again government things and what's not. That's making it hard, especially for South Africans. But you are right. People should try whatever they're able to, to get themselves here. It was better in the beginning. Now, it's kind of getting tougher. But it's if anyhow you're able to connect to someone who's here, you have to go, bro.
Yeah,
you have to. We have to, because they say. Oh, man, thank you.
It's a pleasure, man.
Thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you for coming through, bro. Maybe next time I'll invite you again with your kids.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'm actually planning on the kids to open up their own little YouTube channel.
You told me.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, okay, sure. Thanks, bro.
Appreciate it, bro.